The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the November 1st, the terrific Tuesday edition of today's Trader's Edge show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that, it's to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone and dial on in at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't dial in, we've got you covered there, too. You can always send me an email. You send that to steve@tfnn.com. And inside the subject heading, if you would be kind enough to put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on terrific Tuesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, you got a mixed bag out there. You got the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ trading lower, 221, 24, and 84. About 7/10, 6/10, and 7/10%. To the upside, you have the Russell up 2/10, 3.5 points. Semis are up 7/10, 16 points. Treasuries are up 255, 1 9/10% to the downside. Gold's up $6. Silver's up 50 cents. That's 2 6/10% to the upside. Lights Recruita's up 2% as well. Trading out at 88.38. That's up $1.84. Natural gas out 42 pennies. Trading at 5.92. And the 30-year Treasury printed out at 120.29. That's 13 ticks to the upside. So where do you want to begin? Let's go begin with, well, first let's kind of set the tone, the expectation level out here with regard to today's pullback. And we're just going to take a look at the NDX 100 because really the NQs is the weakest of the four futures contracts out there, equity future contracts. But here's a chart of the NDX 100. Now, the green red squiggly line on there, that's the oscillator and change line. Very cool line. When price is above, it tells you, well, first, if the line is red and green, it tells you whether the price oscillator is above zero or below zero. Red line is below zero, kind of gives you an indication of a bearish condition. It's truly a bearish condition if price is below a red line. That tells us we have a falling price oscillator below zero. Right now, price is above a red line. That says that there could be more of a rally and that the pullback could just be a counter trend move. If we take a look at other instances on other retracements, when price is above that oscillator and change line, you'll see that they typically occur. Now, so the red digits, those are referring to consecutive closes below the prior close, and the black digits are consecutive closes above a prior close out there. We're looking at the red lines out here. So when you've got price above that oscillator and change line, typically the increments of a retracement last in anywhere from 2 to 3 consecutive sessions. You can see how I've identified those on our screen out here. Take a look at price now. When price got above with that nice Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom, once price gets above the top of that oscillator and change line, we've seen one 2-day pullback and a second 2-day pullback out here. So you can see if you're watching us on Tiger TV, you most certainly can see that. Yesterday was day number 1 of that pullback. So we either see a bottom form today or perhaps tomorrow going into the Fed, or at least a market that might move lower into the Fed announcement day. But at least at a minimum, you should expect and anticipate just a normal 2-day retracement or pullback in a market that still wants to move higher. And I do believe that at least through this week and possibly through Monday or Tuesday of next week, the market wants to try to move higher. So that's just the first scenario that we want to make sure that we are well aware of before we then go on and start taking a look at the minutia, the details out there. When I say the details, I'm referring to taking a look at the equity future contracts and their multiple time frames. Now, I sure hope I was showing that. Pretty sure I was, yeah, because on the black background chart. So now let's go over and let's take a look at the start with the ES Mini. And actually, so we're going to start with the ES Mini, but then the first thing that we're actually going to do, we go see the charts on the screen, is let's go try to understand where we at with regard to market breadth for the S&P 500, for the ES Mini. Let's begin with our 30-minute time frame. Our 30-minute time frame shows we have a bearish crossover. What's that mean? We have 249 instruments at 11:11 in the morning trading below a 30-minute profile, 61 trading above. Those are bearish market breadth conditions out there. Let's go take a look at the other 4 time frames that we monitor out here. The next shortest time frame being a 60-minute time frame. Now, the 60-minute for the S&P is in bullish configuration. If we want to understand how that looks, that's 218 instruments above the top of profile, 138 below the bottom. On a 240-minute time frame, 265 above, 61 below. If we take a look at a daily time frame, what we've got is 2 at 94 above, 32 below. And even on the weekly basis, which generated a bullish crossover on Friday, you've got 208 above and now 54 below. So this helps us to understand that the very first chart that you and I looked at, which was the normal price movement, which is a move higher and then a little Texas 2-step, and it could be a Texas 3-step, a 2 to 3 day consecutive decline out there. And again, we're going to take a look at the NDX 100, the weekend to see out there. That's just normal. Now we take a look at market breadth. That says, hey, it is just a normal retracement, at least at this stage of the game. And this stage of the game is 11:12 in the morning. Now we take a look at the ES Mini on the daily time frame. That's on the left-hand corner. You'll see that the TD9 count top formed on Friday. Big, nice, wide-ranging bar. Of course, I said to myself, well, geez, even though it's a TD9 count top, I'll still be surprised if that holds because markets typically don't end on wide-ranging bars. Well, it's held so far, and now where price is pulling back, and I've got 2 different sets of profiles. So if you're watching us on the 11 a.m. update, we saw that the top of the daily profile, my e-signal system, is 3897.50. On my Ninja Trader system, even though it's using the same data, it shows a different set of profiles, and sometimes that happens. We don't get upset about that. We use the data. So here, the top of the profile on the white background chart, see if we can find it, there is 3846. So let's try to answer a question inside the Tiger's Den, or see if we can answer the question. And that was put forth by Jimmy. He said, is there a poll function in the den? There is. It's called the Trader's Edge Show. We're going to take a poll here. I'll present the evidence. You tell me what the outcome is. And the question from Jimmy was, which level hits first? 3,900 for the ES Mini or 3,800? Now, we may find that it's really the market that's got to answer that question for us, and it's up to you and I to be able to identify the battlegrounds. Well, we know that one of those battlegrounds now is going to be the top of that daily profile off the Ninja Trader charts. So that first level, Jimmy, is at 3846. So far, today's low has been 3855. So we really can't answer that question. The market will answer that question for us. Is if price gets below 3846, then I'm a believer that the answer would be 3,800, would be more likely to be hit than 3,900. Why? Because if you get below the top of this daily profile, we know we're already below the top of the black background profile, then the next level of support is that oscillator and change line, and that's currently printed at 3769. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We're not finished. We'll continue looking at the ES Mini charts and anything that you'd like as well. Give us a call at 877-927-6648.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Folks, so we're still taking a look at the ES Mini daily time frame chart. Again, it's got a TD9 count top. We're looking at the white background screens. So the next level of support on the move lower is going to be at 38.4650 level. That is the top of that profile. Price gets below that, it suggests a run for its oscillator and change line, currently printing in the 37.69 level. So now we start backing down to other time frames. 5-hour time frame chart. Now this bar here does not complete until 2 p.m. If it did complete, if this was 2 p.m., we'd have a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top with price below the bottom of its profile. But it's not 2 p.m., it's 11:18. But right now, this is trending towards continuing to move lower. You have a similar pattern, the same type of pattern on the 4-hour time frame chart. This current bar here is going to close at 2 p.m. as well, but price is below the bottom of its profile. It did confirm a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. The question is, does price close below support? On a 2-hour time frame chart, you have a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Price here is suggesting a run, because it's a bearish structured profile, a run for the, well, I was going to say the 38.20 level, but that does not appear to be the profile. Is there a new profile that formed? Yes, there is, 38.95. So price is below profile. It's hard for us to see this on the white background charts, but that is suggesting lower price. The 60-minute chart is suggesting lower price. The 30-minute is doing the same. That's got a nice TD9 count top that took hold. Everything is below support. So that's why I say it's suggesting lower price, because there's no new profiles that have formed below here. Now we're down to a 15 and a 10-minute time frame chart out there. You could get a 15-minute TD9 count bottom that would form between 11:30 and 11:45. That would then, if that does form, give us a signal of a rally up towards its oscillator and change line of about 38.86. The same would hold true for the 10-minute chart. Those patterns are not present at the moment, but they could form. Now, in the 10-minute chart, it would be a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal that would unfold. So right now, Jimmy, you're looking at, to answer his question, what comes first, 3,800 or 3,900? Really is going to be that battle, I believe, at the top of that daily profile right now, and that's, again, at the 38.46 level. If that level fails, then likely we're headed towards 3,800. Hope that that helps you out with regard to answering that question out there. Let's see. We do have a question that has come in. I believe it's just one question. I just want to make sure. Hey, did everybody have a nice Halloween out there? Yeah, everybody get their favorite candy? Hopefully you did. So yeah, I don't see any other questions other than one right here from G-Man who wants to take a look at Apple. So let's go switch over. We'll come back. We'll do this same intraday stuff for the NQ or anything that you want. But as we get questions that come in, let's go get to those questions first. Make sure we get all of those answered out here. So now we take a look at, well, that's Amazon. We don't want to take a look at that right now, although it's headed lower. It does not have a bottoming pattern. I think we covered that yesterday. AAPL, it's better to type in the actual symbol. This is my experience. And I know this will just be like, really, that's your experience? Yeah, this is my experience, is that if you actually type in the correct symbol name, you actually get the proper output. That's amazing. Now we've got the proper symbol in there for Apple, and you could generate a sell the D point pattern today. All it needs is a bearish reversal candle. Kind of easy to do with regard to yesterday's candle formation. Right now you've got a bearish engulfing candle, and prices below the top of its daily profile, 151.30. So G-Man, you want to watch 151.30. If price closes below that, well, one, you'd have a sell the D point, and then that would suggest a pullback to support. The daily time frame support levels for Apple are one, its oscillator and change line. That's in the area of 146.79. I mean, that's what it's printing at right now, but as price goes up and down, so too will that level. So use that as a guideline, a Jack Sparrow guideline. Now, if price is going to go lower, it's going to need to move below its weekly oscillator and change line. And that's where price is printing right now. The weekly oscillator and change line is exactly at 149.90. In order for Apple to continue to move lower out here, G-Man, you need to see price on the weekly base at least start pushing below that. If that happens, then that would likely signal move back to the 146.70-ish range out there. And if price got below a red oscillator and change line, then we're looking to move into its bullish structured zone. That's a daily bullish structured profile, and the zone is 141.80 to 144.17. Nothing else really sticks out to me as I take a look at these charts out here. Let's just take a quick peek here for G-Man at the 30-minute time frame. His question is, can you take a look at Apple for a pullback to start a long position? So I would, let's come back to that. Here on the daily time frame, a 30-minute time frame, a nice TD9 count on Rhodes momentum indicator top. Stevie, does it matter? Does it make it more bearish because you have two topping signals versus one? I don't know that it makes it more bearish, but it certainly adds to the idea that the market has formed at least a top for that time frame, which in fact it has. Now you've got an A to B equals CD to the downside. So what I'd be watching for here, G-Man, you're looking for a potential entry into Apple. I would watch a 30-minute time frame chart. If you get a bullish reversal candle, that will then form a buy the D point or a Gartley buy pattern out there. So that would one thing to be looking at. Another thing to be looking at and continue to watch out here is really that weekly oscillator and change line. And so if you're looking for the ultimate entry into Apple, it wouldn't necessarily be on the 30-minute Gartley buy or buy the D point. It would be pulling back into the bullish structured support level. But I don't know whether price is going to get back there now. You got to take this one step at a time. And right now that step is that we're sitting at potential support on the weekly. If that fails, then we likely head to that 146.75. But if you were going to enter looking for the ideal entry point, it's between 141.80 and 144.17. So I hope that answers your question. If it does not, please get back to me, and I'll try to provide you with the information that you are looking for. SNP in the Tiger's Den, he wants to take a look at ticker symbol SEDG. So let's get that up on our screen out here. And I should know that off the top of my head, but I don't. Why? I don't know. SEDG, I know we've looked at this before, but here's what we know. Right now, as we take a look at the daily time frame, we see no bearish pattern. We see a potential, I suppose, of an A to B equals CD, but I'd say likely not, because the B point would be where it's already trading in essence into the A point, which was at October 13th swing low. That was wave number 7. That was letter G, a very small portion of the Chapman wave, but yet a very valuable portion of the Chapman wave. That's why Stevie has those letters on our screen. So now, where's price headed to? S&P, I'd ask you this question. You tell me, even though it's probably hard to read that green number with that green line across it, hint, hint, where's price headed to? Yeah, it's headed to the TD9 count breakdown area, 251.87. At least that's what the daily time frame chart communicates to you and I. The weekly chart for Solar Edge Technologies is right now right at resistance, the top of its weekly profile. The top of that weekly profile is exactly at 230.40. We're 231.48. As long as price remains above the 230.40 level, S&P, odds favor a move to 244.87-ish. That is the red weekly oscillator unchanged line. And what is going on a monthly basis is price is trying to regain support. Means it's trying to get back above the bottom of its bullish structured monthly profile. It closed below it last month. It closed below it the month before that. But if price can regain that level, and that's a key area, 237.41, then that suggests that move higher. So what's our overall call here on SEGI, on Solar Edge? You'd have to say that it's going to be that monthly profile that's going to be the real key area to watch and observe. And that's, again, at the 237.41 level. If price can overcome that, then we're likely headed to the 244.88 and then 251.87 area out there. So hope that helps you out. S&P, real quickly here during this break, I'll put up the 30-minute time frame chart here. This suggests that price could be pulling back to 225.07. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow down 173, S&P's off 17, NASDAQ is 66. The only question that we've got in the queue right now from San L inside our Tiger's Den. San L's question goes like this. Hey, Steve, the SPY yesterday generated a doji candle. Today, so far, you've got a bullish engulfing candle. Isn't that bearish? So first, let me answer the question this way. First, if we weren't looking at patterns, which we are, but if we weren't looking at patterns, the mere fact that an instrument produces a bearish engulfing candle doesn't mean, now that I'm giving you Stevie interpretation here, does not mean that all of a sudden the stock chart flips to bearish. That's just not the, it's just not the way that it works. It helps you identify support or resistance, just like a bullish engulfing candle would. Where those candles really, and I don't know that this was your question, but I'm going to try to answer it because I've got to interpret the question, right? So what I first want to state and really be clear out here is bullish or bearish reversal candles in the middle of a move, not where a pattern has completed, doesn't mean a thing. It does mean something, but the meaning is not as significant as when a pattern completes. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the SPY. So the question is about the SPY. If we take a look at the patterns that are out here, number one, we talked about this with regard to the ES Mini. The SPY also did the same on Friday, which was completed at TD 9-count top, was the bar following bar number 9. As long as price does not close above that high, it has a valid top. That high out there for the SPY is going to be 389.52. So that was Friday's news. How about today's news? Well, today's only 11:30, so we can't completely call it. But we can call it as if the market were closed right now. The SPY also had a confirmed A to B equals C to the upside. It basically has completed that pattern. When I say basically has completed that pattern, what I mean was the one-to-one price objective was 390.88. The actual high that we saw out here today, this is the high, came in at 390.39. Is that close enough? It's close enough for me to say, all right, this would then, the bearish reversal candle here, San L, would then generate the sell the D point pattern out there. So now let's get back to all it does was it identified, the bearish reversal candle was identified a top. It doesn't necessarily mean that the market itself is bearish. So I wanted to be clear there. And specifically with regard to the SPY as an instrument. The market profiles on the SPY are much different than the profiles on the ES Mini. And heck, I showed you two different sets of profiles on the ES Mini. Of course, what we do is we use both. We don't complain. We use the information that's available to us. In this case here on the SPY, you can see that the profile is well below price. When price is above the top of a profile, San L, that's a bullish signal. Yeah, I know that was a bullish signal before, but now you got the top, Steve. You got the potential sell the D point and the TD 9-count top. Yes, and whenever you get a topping pattern, all that it really gives price the right to do is to pull back and test support. What you and I don't know is whether or not price can break through support. Well, where's the first support level inside the SPY? That would be down at 374.84. What I would then suggest, though, San L, is not making the market calls and decisions on a chart that trades for 6.5 hours. Not when you have 23 hours worth of information, and that's inside the equity future contract. So I'm not saying you need to trade the equity future contract. What I am saying is that if you want to use pattern recognition tools, you want more information, not less information. And I'm not referring to the information, the pre-market and the post-market to add to your SPY chart out there. I'm referring to the ES Mini charts out there. It was at about 8 o'clock this morning when I sent out the newsletter, or I was putting the newsletter together and said to the subscribers that, look, the 30-minute charts look like they're going to form TD 9-count tops between a certain time, which was basically by the time of the market open, and to expect or anticipate that the market would start pulling back into that open. In fact, that's exactly what happened. We would not have gotten that information in pre or post market data or using some type of ETF like the SPY out here. So that's where that comes into play. So to answer your question, right now, if you get a bearish engulfing candle, does that add to the TD 9-count top? Yes. Does it make it bearish? What it does, we can use the word bearish as a directional signal, and it does suggest that price should pull back to test support. But really, it's going to be about the ES Mini, not about the SPY. Those are the levels that you and I really need to watch. Here's the ES Mini out here, because what this shows us here on the white background charts shows us that unless price gets below that 38.46 level, even with regard, now this only has a TD 9-count top. This does not have a sell the D point top. We don't have that kind of a signal out here. So I'd really be watching, if you're short the market, would be really watching the top of that profile, 38.4630. Wouldn't really consider getting short until I saw a close below that level, and then you've got support not that far below that. So, Sandel, I hope that answered your question. Let's come back here real quickly. Take a look at the SPY chart out here for the daily time frame. Just flip back and forth so that you can take a look at where the information that the SPY provides you versus the information that the ES Mini provides us. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to trade the ES Mini, but boy, that is where you want to be able to get your information to make your trades on the SPYs or the Qs or any of those instruments out there. If you do that, your trading will improve. I guarantee you, as much as I can guarantee anything, that your trading will improve. So thanks for the request. Thanks for letting me bloviate on that, but hopefully it was helpful to you and something that you'll be able to use from this point going forward. So now there are no other questions that I've got in the queue that I know of. So let's go back and take a look at what's going on. Well, should we take a look at what's going on with the other markets here? Let me take a quick peek, see what's happening out here. That was the opportunity to take a swig of water. All right, let's take a look at the NQ, because the NQ is the weak link here in the chain. So let's go take a look at its signals, where its levels of support are, and what it might be doing out here. So it's going to take a few moments here for the NQ charts to populate. Right now, you've got the Dow off 166, the S&P's down 16, and the NASDAQ 100 is off 69 points as well. And we take a look at the NQ, it's just consolidating with inside its daily profile. If someone were to ask me, where's a buy point inside the NQ? That's pretty easy. It's at either 11,002 or around 11,159. That's that red daily oscillator unchanged line. We're looking at a 5-hour time frame chart. Prices right now back below the center of a bearish structured profile out there. A close below 11,427 in the NQs could suggest to move all the way back to 11,111 or 10,980.50. Just really looking for the other charts out here. So your TD9 count signal on your 30-minute time frame right now, as we open up this chart, just looking for where its next level of support is at out here. And I don't have its next level of support. I mean, it's much lower than where we're trading, so I'm not really going to go there at this moment. What other pattern? No other pattern that I see out here. So on the 30-minute chart, it helped us identify the top, but not necessarily where is price headed from here. Let me see what the 60-minute chart tells us. Not much. Not much. So price below really all profiles till you get down to 10 and 15-minute time frames out here. I just have to resort back to about 11,159. So not as helpful when I right now take a look at the NQ charts out there versus the ES Mini charts. I don't see as any kind of a bottom signal just yet as of 11:38 in the morning. What's going on in the world of Goldilocks out here? So let's take a look at the gold contract. That's the December contract. Let's populate this set of multi-time frame charts. We're about to go to break here in just a few seconds. Right now, gold is just consolidating with inside its daily profile. That's between the 1641 level and 1682. If price can regain, that means close above 1647.90. That suggests gold may want to go target that 1682 level out there. You had a nice little TD9 count bottom on the 240-minute chart. Rhodes momentum indicator bottom on the 120-minute chart out there. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's off 221, S&P's off 25, NASDAQ 100, 101, and the Russell is flat out there, trading out at 1846. We're looking at Marathon Digital. Ticker symbol here is MARA. The request inside the Tiger's Den is from Alan the Great. Alan wants the support and resistance level. So, Alan, when I take a look at these charts, the resistance level, very easy to identify. It's on the center chart. It is a bearish structured weekly profile. And that's the resistance levels at 1478. Yeah, sure, last week price poked above it. It got up all the way up to the 1562 level. But, of course, the body of the candle is the essence of price. Those wicks, those upper and lower shadows out there, nothing more than the screaming memes for that time period out there. But that's your resistance level at 1478. Now, support. The first support level is basically where price is trading right now. The bottom of its bullish structured daily profile. That is at 1258. We're trading at 1261. The actual low of the day so far is at 1261. 1259 now. So if price closes below 1258, and the volume so far on this bar today is about 7.5 million shares. That's going into a day that had 24 million shares, but 2 hours of trading, 7 times, it's going to get you to 20 million shares, give or take. And then the prior bar had 17 million shares. So price is pulling back inside of MAR right now, at least as of 11:43, with a pretty decent volume. Here's the deal. So price is sitting at support. Yeah, give me the deal, Stevie. 1258. If price closes below 1258, then we have to go to our next support level. Well, you'd be below both the bottom of the daily profile and its oscillator and change line. That takes us back to the weekly time frame. Now, weekly time frame would tell you that the range of support would be between 794, the bottom of the weekly profile, and its oscillator and change line at $9.11. The monthly chart really not providing us with a ton of information other than it does have a nice TD9 count bottom. That was back in July of 2022 out there. But right now, price is sitting at support. Let's take a look at a short-term time frame for Marathon Digital. 30-minute time frame is the only short-term time frame that I've got up on my screen right now. And what we don't see here is a bottom. We do see that price is likely going to target its breakout level of 1235. So that's another short-term potential level of support out there, 1235 to be watching. So right now, you've got Marathon Digital right at those key levels of support on the daily time frame. That's a daily profile. So I hope that helped you out, Alan the Great, with regard to support and resistance, and have a terrific Tuesday. Hector and Patty, they want to take a couple different instruments out here. One of them is the Russell 2000. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and take a look at the equity future contract. I know that both Patty and Hector will appreciate that. Hector writes in, so let's read his question. actually, and let me actually get it going on another screen. He says, "Happy Twofer Taco Tuesday, back at you." Although I sort of had my Mexican food last night. We made some little Mexican chicken. Ooh, it was so good, so good. All right, back off of food out here. The IWM volume has been holding pretty steady. Today, so far, you're about 12.7 million shares. Yesterday, you did a total of 25. So it actually looks like really good volume inside of the IWM. Can you please give us an updated OUL support resistance on the IWM and COP, if possible, and monthly A to B equals CD patterns out there? Yeah, we'll take a look at all of that. So even though I've got the Russell 2000 up here on the daily time frame, what we can see here is that price ran right into resistance at its TD9 count, breakdown resistance level of 1861. Now that alone is not a topping pattern, but there is an A to B equals CD that if we do generate a bearish reversal candle, right now you've got a shooting star. I don't know if that will be the end of the day candle, but if you did generate a bearish reversal candle, that would then suggest a pullback to its oscillator and change line. That's Russell 2000 December contract. What we'd be looking at is 1781 or thereabouts. That's from the daily time frame. Real quickly here before I move over to other charts, anything else that sticks out at Stevie? Nothing. So now let's go back to give you the specific information that you asked for. That's what we try to do here. So you wanted the oscillator and change line for the IWM. And so we're going to give that to you. What I will share with you I won't share that to you just yet. Now that's odd because I know that the IWM didn't trade all the way down to that level. So now I've got to reload all my historical data. That'll take just a moment here, but let's get so we can see on the IWM, Hector, Patty, price run into its TD9 count breakdown resistance level. That's at 184.69. The answer to your question, get to it already, Steve-O, 176.16. That is the daily oscillator and change line. The weekly is at 173.05. The monthly is up at the 196.16 level. You wanted to know if there's any kind of A to B equals CD pattern on a monthly basis. There's not to the upside. To the downside, what you also have is a confirmed TD9 count bottom. That actually came in since June, which is a new month out there. But I know most of you are familiar with the actual month of June. Hey, by the way, did you see that moon last night? Again. And now last night's moon was at about 11 o'clock at night. The only reason I was up at 11 was because I was watching football, because the baseball game was rained out. But, I got to believe it's going to be up there tonight as well. We're headed towards perigee. That's when the moon is closest to us. I believe that is early Friday morning or Thursday night. It's coming up in the next couple of days out there. And, it was like just above the horizon as I looked out to my west and just slightly south. Probably at about 10 o'clock if due west was at 12, so to speak. But check it out tonight if you're up, because it's a pretty cool sight out there. Back to IWM. Is there anything else I need to share with you on IWM? I think the answer is here. No, but you were asking about the A to B equals CD. There's no A to B equals CD to the upside, and the IWM, again, has already confirmed a TD9 count bottom that, in essence, has led to a consolidation or a sideways move out there. Your next request was to take a look at ConocoPhillips. COP, I believe, is now COP, if I'm not mistaken, showed up on my topping signals report that came out early this morning, if I'm not mistaken. And if we take a look at the daily time frame chart, well, we'll see one of the reasons why it may have given that signal is yesterday was bar number 8 of a TD9 count. Bar number 9 will complete today as long as price closes above the close of bar number 5. That was 126.57. But even if you do get a TD9 count top that confirms today, completes tomorrow, price is still consolidating with inside its daily profile, and it is above a green oscillator and change line. That gives us a neutral signal at worst case scenario. You asked for that oscillator and change line in ConocoPhillips COP. That is at the 126.81 level. That's on the daily. The weekly, 119.75, and the monthly negated a TD9 count top yesterday. So on a monthly basis, this is suggesting that it really wants to move higher. Now, for ConocoPhillips, what we're going to do here, Hector, is switch over to my black background charts, because that's the one where we can draw A to B equals CD patterns. We'll go take a look at the potential monthly A to B equals CD ETF. So let's look at the weekly first. So on a weekly basis, and I've got the small version of it. The 1-to-1 should take us up into the 136.32 level. The volume on the B point was 35 million. Last week that was crossed with 37 million. So that's a confirmed signal. Now we could go back further for the A point on the A to B equals CD pattern. Let's see, what did volume do on a monthly basis? That's the real question. The B point had volume of 200 million. It was past with only 152 million last month. Doesn't matter. It still is an A to B equals CD to the upside. But Hector, that says 181.54. But that's not really confirmed just yet. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So right now we've got the Dow trading down 175 points. The S&P's off 20. NASDAQ 192. Russell slightly positive. Semis are up 20 points. Trannies are back 186. You got gold trading out at 1646. That's up $6. Silver's up 52 pennies. She's trading out at 1646. We're taking a look at LNG. This is for S&P inside the Tiger's Den. And this is Cheniere Energy. So Cheniere Energy's issue, S&P, is the TD9 count top on a weekly basis. That was week of September 16th. The volume on that candle session, 22 million shares. The first time up, that was the week here of October 14th. That did volume of 14 million shares. It's only Tuesday, the beginning of Tuesday. So far, I believe we're at 3 million shares or so. We are at about 3 million shares. Don't know whether we'll have the volume or not, but if price can close above that high, by the way, is 178.62, then Cheniere Energy should be off to the races. Off to the races means continuing to move higher. We have no topping pattern on the daily time frame out here. So it's really just a weekly top out there that was formed with that TD9 count, and if price can get above that, even monthly would support a further move higher. So it's really all about the weekly. It's really all about that swing point, and probably have to check back in on a Thursday or so to get a feel for what the volume is doing. Now, if price closes above that, that would be a positive, or starts trading above that. Obviously, that would be a positive as well. So S&P, thanks much for taking the time to write in. Much appreciated. Let's go back here to these charts. We started with the ES Mini. Let's finish with the ES Mini. Let's also take a quick peek here and see what is going on from a market breadth standpoint. Remember, we were looking at the 30-minute chart out there. That was market breadth negative when we started. It still is, but that has improved. 156 above, 30-minute profile, 109 below. So that is improving out there. The 60-minute chart, we don't have to take a look at that. That was bullish when we looked at it when things were worse off. They're not worse off right now. So it is bullish for all of its time frames. So on a 30-minute chart out here, no bottom pattern though. That's the issue, or that's an issue. So the signal here, if there's going to be any kind of market rally, it's going to come from these shorter-term time frame charts. And here for the ES Mini, I would say price would need to close above about 38.80 to suggest a further rally. Let's call it 38.83. Price can close above 38.83, we should get more rally. If not, it's just a counter trend move up to a resistance level. Folks, have a terrific Tuesday.